Tom Hamlin is one of the giants of Dayton sportscasting history. A native of Carlisle, Ohio, Tom graduated from Ohio Wesleyan University in 1951 after serving in the United States Marine Corps for 2 years. He began his broadcasting career in 1953 at WLOK in Lima. After a year in Mansfield, Ohio, Tom traveled south to Birmingham, Alabama, where he became the play-by-play voice of Auburn and the Alabama Sportscaster of the Year in 1959. He returned to Southwest Ohio in 1960 to join the staff of WHIO AM-TV. He was the sports director of both radio and television for the next 17 years. During that time, he broadcast University of Dayton football and basketball games, as well as Ohio State football and basketball. He also organized the Aviation Bowl in 1962, in which Houston played Western Michigan at Welcome Stadium.
Tom was a very gifted play-by-play guy, and it was a big day for the University of Dayton when he left Alabama as the voice of the Auburn Tigers to come to Dayton as the voice of the Flyers. He had a distinctive voice, and he was very knowledgeable about all sports. He was the kind of guy that could be assigned to the Olympics and go over and take any one of those sports and do a very, very good job.
Tom had a mind that worked sometimes faster than his mouth, and he was always thinking ahead to the next thing while he was saying something else. And every once in a while a malaprop would slide in there, and I can recall one time when Tom and Lou Hinchman were, I believe Lou was working with him, they were doing the Tangerine Bowl down in Orlando, Florida. And Tom was talking real fast, and he said, well, Lou, we're down here in Orlando, Florida. We're just about 30 miles east of Cape Canaveral. And at the time, if you thought about it, they would have been out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean if they were 30 miles east of Cape Canaveral. But those are the things that you just remember and got a big kick out of when you thought about it.
After leaving WHIO in 1977, Tom continued his sportscasting career on TV at WKEF. He was there until 1985 and continued to stay busy in local sports by broadcasting Central State football games on radio.
I've had a chance to know Tom since the late 1970s when we worked together at Channel 22. But before that, about 7, 8 years before that, when I was going to Ohio State, he took the time out to talk to me about sportscasting, to help me along in what turned out to be a pretty good career for myself.
Tom has been active in his community as well as the world of broadcasting. Tom leaves a legacy that will be hard to match.
This is my final scheduled anchor spot for 22 Alive. I'll be lending them a hand perhaps when needed. My first love has always been play-by-play. I expect to be active in that, however. Sports is not life and death. Life and death is that. In 1957, had the first black athlete ever live on a TV program in Birmingham in the hard days of civil rights battle. My first caller, the head clan dragon of the Confederacy. I told him not athletes on the air, not race or religion, just plain athletes. Sports has done more, I think, for social, civil rights, and the brotherhood of mankind in the world than anything I've seen in the past 30 years, and so has television. So from adventure and human experience, I think I'm a millionaire by a long shot, and it's been my pleasure to be part of television, and I think, Joan, that's a career in sports.
Tom Hamlin, truly a legend in Dayton broadcasting. The Dayton Area Broadcasters Hall of Fame is proud to welcome Tom Hamlin into the 2005 class of inductees.